It's a party, baby.
Good afternoon, everyone, on this beautiful 4th of July. Hope you are all having a great holiday. If you are, of course, celebrating, I know we have a lot of people that are overseas, and they obviously don't have this holiday with theirs. So hope you're having a great day wherever you may be. This is the quiet time now, and I'm enjoying that because we've been inundated with fireworks the last like 3-4 days, and my poor dog is suffering from it. We had to give her anxiety meds to calm her down, so she's gonna have a tough time tonight. I know too. It's gonna be like a war zone around here. So I wanted to do this. I was just gonna do a video and put it out there. But I figured, why not just put out or do, a live thing? A little bit easier for me, who is technologically impaired. I'm not great with adding pictures to stuff and all that. So until I learn, which I will, Jeff is going to teach me, thankfully. But until I learn, I figured this would be easier. Plus, I can see you guys. Hello, Jacoby, and hello, John. How are you? Hey, Deanna, how are you? Puppy CBD. Yeah, I know. They gave us some kind of pill. We tried it the first night we gave it to her, but man, oh man, did it dope her up. Like really, really. She didn't even have trouble keeping her eyes open, lifting her head. So now we're just giving her half a pill. And it seems to be working pretty well. The last couple nights, she just goes in her spot underneath the couch and kind of just chills under there. So the pill's at least helping her, which is a good thing. Tonight, though, maybe a double one. We might have to do one early and then one a little later because, like I said, man, it's going to be rough tonight. I know, like they're going to be going off from probably 9 o'clock until probably midnight or longer. So it's going to be a rough night. But yeah, I'm really glad this is just once a year. I'm not a fan of this holiday for several reasons, but none because of what it stands for, obviously, but personal reasons. It's rough. I got bit by a dog, ironically, at a fireworks celebration once. My wife had her mom pass away on the 4th of July weekend. It's not my favorite holiday, so I'm just kind of at the point where I just wanted to go get done and be done with it, and get past it. So, but yeah, I hope you guys, like I said, wherever you may be, I hope you are having fun. I hope you're having a good one. I hope you're celebrating if that's what you intend to do, and I hope you're enjoying the day. So yeah, this is pretty much just this is an episode of basically my rambling show, and I'm going to ramble about Raw. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to try to do this either this format or video format for Raw and for SmackDown, since we don't do the watch-alongs for it anymore. I figured I'd get my thoughts out there about it. Listen, I hope you're enjoying our new things that we're doing. We wanted to get more content out there, basically. Doing Impact is great, and the Impact pay-per-views, and then our Sunday show, but not really a whole lot of content, right? It's basically just 3 shows. So we're a content creating channel, so we wanted to get more content out there for all of you. And so Jody, of course, is doing her Tea Time with Abby's videos. I know a lot of you like those. Of course, all the Bray Wyatt and stuff like that going on with that, and theories and everything that she's been doing. And Jeff is actually going to start doing some videos as well. He did the one on his Money in the Bank review, which was awesome. Great to always hear more from Jeff. I know you guys enjoy that. And he's got another one coming too, so watch out for that one. I know you're all going to like it because, we kind of laugh about how Jeff is accurate with his predictions. Well, that's kind of what that video he's going to do is going to be involving. I'm not going to give it away. He'll tell you more about it, but he's going to work on that. So that's going to be coming out from him and me. I will continue to do these. And I may have a rambling after a pay-per-view as well. So, we might just we're going to keep on bringing you more content, which is the bottom line. So, let's see. Hassan, hello to you. Happy 4th of July to you as well. Hello, EJ. And hey, Brandon, how are you? It's been a little crazy with the dog situation, but again, I'm gonna be kind of glad when it's all said and done, as far as that goes. So, all right. As far as the channel, because I always like to talk about what we got coming up. Of course, this Thursday we got Impact Wrestling. For those of you who come out, Impact has been amazing, and I have no doubt that it will be awesome this Thursday. We're getting close to Slammiversary. It's only a couple of weeks away, so come and join us for that Thursday night at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This weekend, I think we should have Between the Ropes this weekend, I believe. I have to check with Jeff though first because I don't know when he has his kids and when he doesn't. So if he does, then we won't. If he doesn't, then we will. So, but we'll let you know about that. Of course, Abby's was yesterday. Hey, Mark, how are you? And Alexa Bliss Gamer 0809. Hello to you. Okay. If you haven't done so already, obviously subscribe to the channel, please. I know most of you in here are, but if there's anyone else that's listening, please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Also, make sure you drop a like on here and, hit the notification bell too. So I just have to bring up, for those of you who are Impact fans, I shared a tweet. Jeff actually shared it with me, and I had to share it. We all know who Joe Hendry is, those of us who watch Impact. And we all know who Eli Drake is. Mr. LA Knight. Well, Joe Hendry got LA Knight in one of his videos. So you need to check that out. It is hilarious. Hilarious. I have it up on Twitter right now. It's so funny. And Jeff showed it to me today. I was dying. So I had to get that out there. How are you feeling today? I'm doing well. Good evening to you, Jonesy Chats Wrestling. How are you? But yeah, go check that out. It is so funny. Okay. One real quick note here. And I know Jody covers all things Bray. I just wanted to get this out there. I shared a theory. It's kind of a combination of theories, I guess, but where I saw it was on Sportskeeda. Not always necessarily the most reliable place when it comes to that kind of stuff, but it was interesting. The person that wrote it was saying that they were talking about Bray possibly waiting until Payback to come back. And I was like, why would he do that? Hello, DRO. It's interesting though, because of what they said makes a lot of sense. And I'm sure it's just a theory from someone, but it's a really interesting one. And the reason why they're saying that is because whatever's going to happen with Roman next, obviously, is going to happen at SummerSlam, right? So if you subscribe to the theory that, this is going to break down even further, and someone is probably going to challenge him for that title at SummerSlam. Now, it could be Jay, it could be Jimmy, it could be Solo Sikoa. Remember, both of them kind of bowed down towards Solo as the new tribal chief. So it could be Solo. I am not subscribed anymore to the fact that Roman's holding on to that title. I know that a lot of people were saying he's going to keep it until next WrestleMania. I don't subscribe to that theory anymore, simply because of what I saw last night from Raw, which we'll go over. Cody is changing gears, and you saw that last night in the opening segment. So segue into what I'm actually going to ramble about. Cody's switching gears. If you watch the post interviews after Money in the Bank, you saw Cody Rhodes talk. They asked him about the title, and he deflected. He said something to the effect of, I'm not quoting perfectly here, but something to the effect of how he is no longer really that kind of, the Roman title. Are you interested in Roman's title? I think was the question they asked him. And he kind of deflected it and said, well, I'm more interested in that one that is the Raw title he came out with, right? And then last night, we all saw what happened. The opening segment, of course, Seth comes down to the raucous, the people singing his theme song. It's just incredible. But he comes down to that, comes into the ring, talks about some of the events that happened at Money in the Bank, and was kind of covering all that. But then he gets interrupted. And I'm thinking, okay, it's got to be Damian Priest. No, it was Cody Rhodes. I think the crowd was a little taken aback by it too, because, of course, they start singing Cody's song as well. And then Cody comes down. Cody basically gets in there. The crowd stops singing, and he basically goes to him. He just said that real quick thing to him. What did he say? So, or well, one of those words anyway. And then Brock interrupts. What I think he was going to do was challenge Seth Rollins for the title. That's the case. The whole thing with him going after Roman, I believe, is over. And I think they're switching gears. So that said, the theory is that Solo or whoever, or Jay or whoever the case might be, is going to beat Roman at SummerSlam. Could also be helped. Because remember now, Roman wins when he's helped by people. He has no one left. If Solo happens to kind of turn his back on him prior to SummerSlam, he has no help except for Heyman. And Jody brought up a good point too. If you've seen her tweets, there's pictures of Paul Heyman holding belts, Roman's belts. One of those belts still has the plates on it from Brock Lesnar. So I don't know if any of you caught that, but they are. It's plain as day. So is that a giveaway that Paul's switching sides? I mean, Paul's kind of slimy, right? He's going to go with whoever's hot. If he knows that his client is not hot anymore, he may turn his back on him and go with Brock. So then the theory goes on to say that maybe at the end of SummerSlam, Roman, maybe during the match or maybe after he loses, gets interrupted, and it's Bray Wyatt. You get something, maybe he attacks him, maybe that causes him to lose the title. And what poetic justice would that be? And what a great storyline, right? Jeff and I were talking about this earlier. It's the full circle storyline, right? The circle that Bray likes to talk about, it comes full circle. And what if he interrupts, or what if he causes him to lose the title? And then there's a setup for him versus Roman at Payback. Payback. Just a word. Payback. His whole career, Bray's whole thing went downhill after Payback, right? He lost the title. Everything that bad that happened to him happened after that. And he went into that feud with Randy Orton. Yes, I get it, but it was kind of never the same. So he can get payback on Roman. So, and I believe, and Jeff believes it as well, that he will come back as the Fiend for that. Now, I didn't really think that would happen, but I kind of am leaning that way. So I'm pretty sure, Jonesy, what I'm talking about here is, I think that the Howdy thing and then that whole storyline. There he is, by the way. He's in the chat. I believe in Jeff. I believe in Jeff Watson. It fits. But I do believe that they are going to change the storyline up, and I think he will come back as the Fiend. I know a lot of people are clamoring for that, and but I believe that that's what's going to occur. I personally think. And don't get me wrong, I love anything Bray does. It's just all psychological and stuff like that. I love anything he does. And I like the new character. I do. But on that same note, I think that there might be a lot of fans out there that just don't get it. I think there be, and again, I was talking to Jeff about this earlier too. I think there's a lot of people that just don't get it. So because of that, and because of the popularity and the merchandising, of course, will factor in and everything else. That's what I think would happen. But wouldn't that be cool I mean, that'd be an amazing way. And of course, Jody's here too. Hello, Jody. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because this is her territory, but I just wanted to get my thoughts out there because I don't get a chance to jump on Abby's like I used to and things like that. So, but I just wanted to get that out there. I just thought it was a very interesting theory. And instead of the return at SummerSlam, which a lot of people think is going to happen, maybe they wait for Payback, and maybe we do get that match against Roman. No title involved, and that's fine with me. There shouldn't be. There doesn't need to be. I don't really necessarily want the Fiend to have the belt again. We all know what happened when that happened. So, no, I appreciate it, Jody. I'm just never around. Mondays are weird for me. I run a lot of errands. So, okay. Anyway, that's that. I'm gonna ramble now about Raw. So we talked about the Cody thing, right? Cody comes down. And, of course, right on cue, we hear Brock Lesnar's music. Brock comes flying into the ring. Cody takes him out. They have a big to-do inside the ring. And then Cody gets him with the Cody cutter, and Brock walks away. So, of course, that is going to be listen, it could be the main event unless Roman is going to wrestle for the title at SummerSlam. But it's right up there, right? They seem to be doing this co-main event stuff where, it's there's 3 main events. There's 2 main events. They seem to be doing that a lot now. I could put up comments. I forget about the comments. I could put comments up like I do when I'm running the show. I kind of forgot about it because I'm talking. But anyway, yeah. So obviously it's going to be Brock and Cody part 3. I fully expect this to be the end. Brock tends to only wrestle 4 times a year. Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, and then one other show, and then the Saudi show, and then SummerSlam. So unless he goes to the other Saudi show later in the year, but he tends to only come around so many times a year. So I think this will be it. This is the 3-match thing. Cody will win it, and Cody will move on. And more than likely, it looks like Cody is moving on to Seth. And no, he did say he wasn't finished with the story. I agree with that. I just think the story is taking a turn, and it doesn't have to be Roman's title that he wins. Listen, they could have had this all figured out by splitting that title, doing what they did, because they know that they want Cody on Raw, right? He's not going to SmackDown. So, right, what if his story has nothing to do with the title? That's a great point. Yeah, that's a great point, Jeff. Maybe it's not just the title. It's not just the significance of a belt. But I do think though that's changing. I like I said earlier, I don't think Cody's going after Roman anymore. And a lot of people were thinking it's going to be, oh my God, it's not till next WrestleMania because they're on separate shows. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think Roman is not going to have the title until next WrestleMania. I really do. So anyway, so it's Brock and Cody part 3. We're going to see a lot of probably interference from the both of them. Brock might come in and beat him up a little bit. Cody may do the same. Maybe Cody turns this around and becomes the aggressor. And maybe he now comes after Brock a little. We don't know how often we'll see Brock. He, like I said, he pops in big shows and doesn't come again until closer to pay-per-view. So we'll see. It's not that far away from SummerSlam though. So probably I'm sure we'll see him a few more times. So that was what we got to open the show. So, of course, very interesting. And then we got a little Dom. Dom. Good Lord. That man is so over as a heel right now. It's insane. The crowd absolutely detests him. Won't even let him talk. But listen, man, like him or hate him, that is how you produce heel heat. That is how you produce heel heat. And he certainly got it. Who would have thought that he's going to have that kind of heat on him? People hate his guts. And so he and Seth Rollins then, of course, decide that they're going to have a match. And a lot of people thought that this, of course, ended up being the main event later. And a lot of people thinking that, this is a setup for Damian Priest. But as it turns out, it didn't turn out that way. And I'll get back to that later. Jody says, I think it has to do with the WWE Championship, not the Universal Order, the heavyweight, that championship specifically. Yes. What if his story is just about showing that he belongs with big names? Maybe it's about showing he belongs and the title is the icing on the cake. Very true as well. Yes. He's going to be Dirty Dom from now on. Dirty Dom. Yeah, hilarious. It's really, really funny. Listen, Dom, you got to laugh at the way he acts and the way you got to give him kudos, right? He's very, very hated. And that's what you got to do as a heel, man. You get that heat. You get everyone to hate you, and you're doing your job. You're absolutely doing your job. And, everything he does, the stuff he does with Rhea, they're a little back and forth. The fact that Rhea is his muscle, it makes it even funnier because, he just looks like this little guy who can't really defend himself. And Rhea's got to step in to be the heavy, which is also hilarious. So, but everything he does, and then he comes in, of course, gets the cheap shot, slaps. It's very old school heel. And he's absolutely killing it. He's doing exactly what he has to do. And Ray should be proud. He brought him up in the business, and he's going to be around for quite some time. And, you look at what they're doing in the other companies. Everybody talks about how good MJF is, right? And he is. There's no doubt. But Dom, could you imagine once Dom gets his hands on a title? Oh, boy. Oh, boy. People aren't going to get and again, we talk about that whole thing, right? When Jeff and I talk on the Between the Ropes show, we talk about that whole process of building up the heel to get to the face, right? So whether he's going to take it off of Seth or whether it's somewhere long down the road and he takes it off of someone else, when he does, then the whole process starts over again, and you've got to build up a face to come and to take him down. And that's going to be a tall order because he is just absolutely doing a bang up job as that heel. So it's really, really cool. And look, who would have thought Judgment Day is so popular? Judgment Day is absolutely killing it too. And a lot of people are saying, oh God, this faction's terrible. People were complaining about it when Edge left. Oh, this is going to fail. This is horrible. They're killing it. They're prime time, man. They are usually starting the show on Raw. If not starting, they're in a main event. They are killing it. And they have gold. Rhea's got the gold. Damian Priest now has the briefcase. But you do have a little dissension. And we'll get to that too. All right. What else good happened? Of course, we had, all right, this is interesting too. Shayna Baszler and Ronda. Really, really interesting. And I found this to be Jody said Judgment Day is a new bloodline metaphorically. Jeff says, my son asked me if Dom was trying to be like Eddie. I just looked at him with pride and said, buddy, we'll rewatch all that when you're older. I'll explain then. He is. Yeah. So Eddie G hinted. Deanna says, Mark saying, what I missed it. I don't know why, but Rhea and Dom remind me of Roman and the Usos can't do without the other. It's just so good, right? It's really, really good. But Shayna and Ronda, it just came out of nowhere. I didn't expect it at Money in the Bank. There was no, and a lot of people are going to say, well, where was the lead up? It's true. There really wasn't much. They just decided that they're going to pit them together. And I'm all for the fight because that's going to be the wrestling equivalent of an MMA battle. And you saw the knee that Ronda got from Shayna last night. I also think it's in place because Ronda's not very well liked. And I don't think she minds that necessarily. But I think WWE might be wanting to get her some, get her back into a face position a little bit here. And of course, Shayna is going to probably be the heel, although maybe not. They could be going the reverse and have Ronda be the heel and Shayna become a face. It could go either way. But it's very, very interesting. And the match at SummerSlam between those two is going to be incredible. They are both fighters more than they really are wrestlers, but that's going to be an incredible fight. Maybe we get a fight pit. Who would be interested in a fight pit for those two? Remember the whole Seth thing in the fight pit? Man, I'd be down with a fight pit for those two. That would be spectacular for the women, and be incredible. And they belong in something like that, or at the very least, have them fight in a cage. steel cage for that, I quit match, some kind of gimmick between those two would be tremendous. And I think it would perfectly fit both of their personalities. So yeah, absolutely. Jeff says, what if I told you in an alternate universe is Dom equals Roman Reigns and Roman equals Dom? Ooh, I'm goofing around, but I had a thought about that earlier. Shayna's face from what I saw on Raw. Battle of the Submissions. People really don't, EJ says, people really don't like Ronda. And I think it gets us at Ronda. Remember Survivor Series 2019? She had a problem with that. She was pouty about it. Yeah, she called out fans on Twitter, I remember. So, yeah, she wasn't really thrilled by all that. But, yeah, no, they probably will make Shayna the face in that. Now that I'm thinking about it, it would make more sense. And they'll keep Ronda as a heel. Last man standing. Yeah, it should be something like that, right? It almost has to be with the two of them fighting it out like that. From what I heard, Ronda said that she would like to fight Shayna during her last run in WWE. Okay, well then maybe, who knows? Maybe this is it, right? Maybe this is it, or she's coming up on the end of her contract. We'll see. Okay, we had a big bunch of tag teams. Gauntlet match for the number one contenders. It was Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville. Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. It was cool to see Indy Hartwell, right, in a ring for the first time. That was kind of neat. Dana Brooke and Tegan Knox, and then Emma and Nikki Cross. So Emma was back for the first time in a while. We got a lot of women in there who haven't really been on TV very much, which is a shame. And Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. So NXT people in there as well. And of course it was Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville getting the win there to crown themselves as number one contenders. I'm okay with that. Sonya's a fantastic heel, and Chelsea, I love Chelsea from when Chelsea was an Impact, and I think the world of Chelsea. I think she's obnoxiously heelish and annoying, and so is Sonya, so they will work very well going up for those tag team titles. But what my thing about this was, and here's a little bit of a ramble from me, what I think about this is, where the hell are all these women? Why is this the first time we've seen some of these women in months? Like, listen, I got to be fair. I complain about AEW sometimes because their lack of showing women, and they have a lack of showing women. They're spotlighting them some more now, which is good, but even still, they have such a huge roster of women there that don't get TV time. But now, I'm wondering the same thing. Chelsea and Sonya you've seen on SmackDown. Candice LeRae and Indy is pretty new, right? But Indy's been called up. We haven't seen Indy. Dana Brooke and Tegan Knox. Dana doesn't get much time at all. Tegan Knox, kind of the same. We haven't seen her too much. Emma, goodness gracious, we haven't seen her much at all. Nikki, same thing. Katana Chance and Kaden Carter, obviously from NXT. But, look, there are a lot of talented women, and I get it. You don't have time to give to them all, but, listen, I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to get into this too much, but we all know, like it or hate it, who is kind of doing some of the stuff for the shows, right? Not saying it's bad because the shows have been good. So can't complain that way. However, listen, whoever is doing it, man, we got to have more women time. We get Becky, right? We get the big names. We get Becky. We get we get Bianca Belair. We get Charlotte. Get the big names, but we need to get some of these other women involved. They're very talented women. They've had great careers, and I get it. You don't have time for all of them, but Raw, you have a 3-hour show, right? You definitely have time for more than one women's match and more than, so gotta get them involved a little bit more. Some of these names that I saw in there, I'm like, man, where have they been? And so, yeah, we need to get them some more TV time. SmackDown, I get it. It's a 2-hour show, but, let's get these women involved a little bit more, except for one of these just off the wall tag team things that happens once in a blue moon. So yeah, let's get them involved. They really, they have these women's tag team belts. That was a big point of a big stickling point for Sasha Banks and Naomi, of course, who is now an Impact. And part of the reason why they left, because they weren't doing enough with them. They're spotlighting them now, which is cool. They're having matches. They had, of course, match in the pay-per-view and stuff like that. So that's good. But, let's try to get the women a little more involved, especially some of these other ones that you don't often see. So, let's see. EJ says, for real, they've been keeping them off TV. I don't know if it has to do with booking issues going on the whole show. That's, yeah. I didn't want to bring that name up, but I wonder. I wonder. Since WWE's borrows from Impact, Monsters Ball match, Cody versus. Ooh, yes. Jody says, I like that loser match. Loser leaves town. I like that, but I think it would make it too obvious that Ronda's losing, given the rumors that she's leaving. Mark says, hard to believe that one of those two that you mentioned come from American Ninja Warrior years ago. I just like for them to do something backstage promos, vignettes, something to remind us about everyone on the roster. Just need at least 4 to 6. Yeah, dude, I agree. You don't have to always have matches, like Jeff is pointing out. I hate to bring it back to there, but use Impact as an example. They do a great job of doing that. Backstage things going on. They do a great job of doing that stuff, which is one of the reasons why I like the show so much. They get people involved, and it's not just, and I'm not telling you to bring back the 24/7 title. That was horrible and garbage. So leave it in the garbage. I don't want that to happen because that was just a bunch of wrestlers running around like fools. But you can do things backstage and set things up. Even if you're not showing a match, have them backstage doing something. I totally agree. Tazzy's here. What's up, Tazzy? How are you, man? It's a party, baby. Anybody else watching Nathan's famous eating call? Jeff was. Jeff was telling me about it. He knows someone there, actually. So, hey, Jason Peace, how are you? Hello, Jason. I think I saw. Oh, and Jason Stoffer. Hey, Jason Stoffer, how are you? Welcome to the show. Jason, of course, a member of our channel. Thank you for being a member. So yeah, let's get these women more involved, shall we? Some way, somehow. And we've got the Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus thing going. Now, Trish has the nose piece. Is she hurt? Is she not? I don't know. I looked it up and I didn't read anywhere about how she had a legit nose injury or broken nose or something along those lines. We've seen this done by heels in the past, right? Where they get in a violent match with someone and next thing you know, they're wearing a face mask and, who knows? We've seen people use those face masks to hit people with and do heelish things with, and obviously, but now she can't wrestle anymore, it's, so more than likely, we're going to get Becky. Maybe you're going to get Becky and Zoe at SummerSlam, which I'm okay with. Zoe is an amazing wrestler. And I don't know. It looks to me a little like maybe Becky's at a point in her career where she may not be that interested in the title anymore. She's had the strap. She's been on top of the mountain for a long time and still is. So maybe she's thinking to herself, hey, you know what? There's a lot of really good women coming up. Maybe it's time. And, she, of course, could beat Zoe. But maybe it's time I help some of these women. I put some of these women over a little bit. Make them look good. Even if she would win, make it a great battle. Make her look good in that ring and give her a little bit of a rub. I can certainly see that. Maybe what Becky doing a little bit. Obviously, you saw, and Jeff pointed this out, which was a great observation in Jeff's video, which, by the way, go check it out if you didn't, his review of Money in the Bank. But he pointed out how that ladder match ended. It was a great observation, and I would have never thought of it. But how she chained Bayley and Becky with the handcuffs, right? And stepped over both of them to get the Money in the Bank. That's an amazing observation, and I wouldn't have thought of it that way. But Jeff thinks that way, and that's the reason why he does what he does. Come watch Impact some week, and you'll find out that we laugh about him being a writer for Impact because of these things that he predicts, but that's just what he does. He sees this stuff, that a lot of people don't see. But she stepped over the two longtime vets to get the Money in the Bank. So it's fantastic observation. So and that's, again, and another thing that Becky may have been involved with, and Bayley too, saying, okay, it's your time now. You step over us, and it's your time now. So I like that. I like it a lot. So I'm guessing, if Trish doesn't wrestle, she'll probably be in Zoe's corner. There'll be some kind of shenanigans, and but we could get that match between Becky and Zoe Stark at SummerSlam. So again, I think it'll be very good. I popped seeing Trish back in the injury mask. You can lose and still look like you belong and had a chance. I think Becky's also going to be working in film and TV in the near future, along with Seth being Seth is in the Captain America. It's not New World Order anymore. They had to change that title. I forget the name of it, but yeah, he's playing a villain. He could be that particular villain. Could be in the movies for a bit, so he might be. You get a gig with Marvel, he might be in them for a little bit. So, yeah, it could be a thing for him. So, good for him. Next, we had, when I was talking to Jeff earlier today about the show last night, another thing you will get, right? You will get this, and a lot of people I saw that were reviewing Raw and stuff like that were kind of saying it was a ho-hum show. And the reason they're saying that is because a lot of the superstars, when they come back from a European trip or a trip anywhere overseas, you always kind of know that next show after isn't going to be filled with all of the superstars. You'll get a lot of the main ones, like we got Seth and we got Cody and stuff like that, but it's in between. The matches are going to be people you normally don't see on TV. The reason being is because they didn't have to travel. So a lot of these people you saw last night weren't overseas. They didn't. Maybe they did, but of course we didn't see them. They didn't have matches. And this was the case with this too. You had Alpha Academy, who's now a face team, by the way. Chad Gable, Otis, and Maxine Dupree. We saw Maxine wrestle for the first time, which is cool. Going up against the Viking Raiders, Eric Ivar and Valhalla. Maxine looked okay. Of course, she pinned Valhalla to win the match. They'll be over. And that was probably a good way to go. While I think Chad Gable's a good heel too, cocky and everything like that, I think in the long run, if he's going to be kind of a similar persona to Kurt Angle, which is what I think he does, then I think that it's best to go that route. Make them faces. Him and Otis. Otis has always been a very popular face, so make them faces. And then, of course, Maxine. Yeah, Maxine was really over. The crowd was freaking out when she pulled that maneuver that she did off the ropes. Yeah, man, the crowd was on fire. Oh, and Green Shirt Guy was. Don't get me started about. I could do a rambling video about Green Shirt Guy. I don't know. How the hell does he do it? That is not cheap. Like to get a flight to England and be there, and then 2 nights later you're in Baltimore. How the hell does he do it, man? This is not cheap. This is expensive. Derek, one of our community members, pointed out to me that he was sitting next to a woman who. A lot of the time, this same woman is sitting next to him. And I said, well, maybe Green Shirt Guy is a benefactor. Maybe he's got a benefactor that's sitting next to him. Maybe she's his benefactor. Maybe she's his girlfriend. Maybe she's his wife. And who knows? Maybe she's, I don't know. I have no idea. I have no clue where he gets the money, how he does it, I have no clue. But he just happens to be at all these big, huge events. And right in that damn front row. Do you ever look at seats for WWE and find out how much those seats are? And I'm not even talking a pay-per-view. I'm talking a normal seat in a normal Raw. I looked once at one of our events close to me. They're like $700-800 seats to be in that front row. Right square in the front of the camera he gets. That is like the best seat in the house. So I don't know, man. I just don't know. I don't know how it is. Jody says, I'm convinced Green Shirt Guy gets free. Man, there's got to be something going on there. I don't know. It's just crazy. Happy Independence Day to you too, James Grant. Maybe he has work. Maybe he gets lifetime tickets. Ringside to Raw or SmackDown is $500. Yeah, dude, it's insane. And especially right there. Like that's how you are in the prime seat to be on camera. Prime seat. You're right up in the front. You're right by all the action. You're right in front of the camera. That is the best shirt in the house. The best shirt. It is the best shirt in the house, but it's also the best seat in the house. Yeah, it's insane. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Someone did an article about him and how he's been there to all these events, but nobody really said anything about what he does. So I'm guessing he keeps that close to the vest. But oh god, it's insane. He bought stock back in the day on the cheap. Maybe he is. Maybe he's a long lost cousin, something or other of Vince. I don't know. I don't know. It's insane. But it is whatever. So the Logan Paul Ricochet thing is going to continue, and I'm all for that. Look, I don't like Logan Paul, and I won't profess to, but I cannot say that he's not killing it. The dude, you got to give him his props, like him or hate him, and I don't like him, but he is really good at what he does. Triple H said it again at the press conference. He said he's well ahead of where Triple H thought he would even be, which is a statement to him. He's got to be working at it, right? You're not going to get that way just by sitting down. So he is working on it. But him and Ricochet together, that's going to be magic, man. We saw when those two did that midair collision a couple pay-per-views ago. And then, of course, again, at Money in the Bank, that match between those two, oh, my God. That is going to be insane. That could be match of the night for SummerSlam. Could be match of the night. They are going to be phenomenal in the ring together. The spots we are going to see from the two of them are going to be absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Logan needs to stick to PLEs. I'm not a fan in any way, shape, or form, but like I said, I do have to give him his due. He's got to be training and training hard to get that good and not be there all the time. So, we hate him. We hate him because he's obnoxious. We hate him because of what he is, and WWE plays off that, right? Because they know people hate him. But that match with him and Ricochet is going to be amazing. I'm really, really looking forward to that. That could be an amazing match at SummerSlam. We had a little promotion from Tommaso Ciampa and The Miz, right? 2 promos. And a promo from The Miz and one from Ciampa, of course, on Miz and that sneak attack that Miz did to Tommaso Ciampa. That's going to be good, too. Whether they're going to do that at SummerSlam, I don't know. I'm sure it probably will be, but that's kind of the old classic storyline, pupil versus student and stuff like that. The pupil turns on, or the student, versus student versus teacher. The student turns on the teacher. That whole thing, we've seen that done before. And listen, I'm just glad Ciampa's back. I'm glad he's healthy. I'm glad we see him there. And he's back. He's an amazing wrestler. Loved him in NXT, one of their best all time. And I'm just glad he's back involved in this feud with The Miz. And I'm sure The Miz is going to put him over. He's going to beat The Miz, and he's going to move on to probably bigger and better things. But listen, man, The Miz is another jerk, but he's really good at it. He's just really good. I can't ever see him being anything but an ass. He's just good at doing that. He's great. Even on his show with Miz and Mrs. You ever watch that? He's even the same way there. I don't know if he just acts that way all the time, but he's just that obnoxious guy that you just want to punch in the face. And no matter who you put him up against, the person's going to go over on him because they hate The Miz so much. But again, just one of those guys like we talk about sometimes, Dolph Ziggler, The Miz. Those guys are just always around. They always do what they do. They don't change, and they're very consistent, and they're very good at it. So him and Ciampa is going to be really good, and I'm really waiting to see what Ciampa has coming up next. Ciampa was very Brayish. The cut footage of that was even more Brayish. Yeah, he was wearing a black coat. Some similarities. Then kind of a dark room. Yeah, little similarity. Little bit of similarity there. I could see that. Think about the storyline I told you, and that. Ooh. You see Jeff's comment up there. I'm not going to elaborate because Jeff's going to. Jeff's. I told you earlier. He's doing his own videos. That thing right there. That's a little tease. So if you want to know what Jeff's videos are going to be about, you may want to read that little comment there and think to yourself of what that could be. It's an act. He's super nice. Oh, I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is, but he's good at doing that, and he does it on Miz and Mrs. too, which I think is funny. He's even that, although his wife puts him in his place, which is kind of even funnier. He tries to be the pompous ass, but she just puts him in his place all the time. So, no, he hasn't been on lately. But could Logan Paul be working with Black Bunny? I mean, Bad Bunny. You mean Bad Bunny? I know what you meant, Bad Bunny. I don't know. Those famous guys, I mean, Bad Bunny's on the road constantly. So I kind of doubt it. But, those guys, I'm sure, have their own gyms. They probably have their own staff. They probably have their own trainer, doing work wherever. He might be in that. Who knows? They might be doing work in WWE places too, maybe down in NXT, things like that. We don't know what goes on behind the scenes. Or he might be working out on his own with somebody. I'm not real sure. Chris knows someone who was on MTV with Miz. Oh, that's cool. I met Miz once and he was super. Yeah, I'm sure he probably is outside of wrestling. Yeah, I would imagine. But he plays that role really, really well. So we're getting Miz and Ciampa, and we'll see if that's another addition to SummerSlam as well. Okay. We had, I'm going to go through, we got 3 more matches here. We had Riddle going up against Giovanni Vinci. Of course, Riddle ends up winning, and the big story we got from that was Drew McIntyre. Of course, Drew has showed up. He was back at Money in the Bank, and he is point blank going after Gunther. So that's going to be an amazing match as well. Look at all these really good matches we're getting set up for SummerSlam. Drew and Gunther is going to be tremendous. Is it Gunther's time to lose? Does Drew get some gold? Maybe. He's had the gold for quite a while. And who knows? Maybe after the developments with Roman, maybe it's Gunther's time to go after a title, a bigger title. So I don't know. Could he go after Seth? Maybe. Depending on when the Cody thing is going to happen. If that takes a little bit longer and Cody and Seth go at it maybe next year, then maybe Gunther's next in line. He's been absolutely amazing, but who knows? Maybe it's Drew's time. And we saw that happen. So, of course, this match, the big thing with that was we saw, of course, Drew coming in. He saved Riddle from a beating. Riddle won the match, and Drew helped him out. And then the two of them left, and they went to party. It's just typical of Riddle, right? Riddle took him to party in Baltimore. So they went out on the town afterwards. So that's another match we're going to get at SummerSlam is Gunther versus Drew. So that's going to be cool. And of course, now you're seeing that it looks like Riddle might have gone and might be in his corner a little bit. So if the other two decide to get involved, we might see Riddle come down and help out Drew and kind of return the favor. So Drew takes the belt for sure. Yeah, you're probably right. I would kind of lean that way. Gunther's had the title for a good long while now, so it might be time to get some gold back on Drew. So, and then of course we had the Women's World Championship match, Rhea and Natalya. It's cool that they're getting Natalya involved. She's one of the all-time greats and always will be. And for a good amount of time in that match, she looked pretty good. There was a lot of times during that match where it seemed as if she was going to get the win. Obviously everybody knew going in there. I'm sorry, there's no way Natalya's taking the title off of Rhea, which, that happens sometimes. We saw Zelina Vega go for the title too, and we all kind of knew that too, right? Zelina's not winning, but they made it look as good as they could. And Natalya had a few times where she had her pin for, had her cover, got a 2 count. And it looked as if for a couple times that she might win, but nobody's taking that title probably off of Rhea anytime soon. It's a big part of Judgment Day, and it's going to take someone high up the face chart to take that title off of Rhea. That's a good question for the chat. Let me know who's next in line. Who do you think? And I think she's going to have it for a while, but who do you think is next in line for that title? Who is going to step up to challenge Rhea Ripley? And who has the shot at the title? Is it someone that's been established? Is someone young? Could it be like an Indy Hartwell? Could it be someone like that that's going to get built up over time? That's going to maybe it'll take that belt off of her come WrestleMania? Or is it going to be an established veteran? Is it going to be a Becky Lynch? Is it going to be a Bayley or a Charlotte Flair or a Bianca Belair? Someone like that. Mia Yim's a great one. I love Mia. Or is it someone I didn't even mention? But yeah, who do you think will be the one to finally take that title off of Rhea Ripley? I never thought for a second she wouldn't hold it for a long time. I knew she would, but who are they going to build up? Who's the person that's going to be able to take that from her? I think Richard's talking some Impact. I think Myers and Moose will win the title than an Impact Wrestling team challenging them. There was a rumor that Randy Orton was coming back. I think that's probably legit. It probably will be a little later than what thought. I don't think Money in the Bank would have been a great time for him. I would say a bigger pay-per-view. So if it's not SummerSlam, then it would almost have to be the Royal Rumble, right? Next year, they would wait until, give him a little more time to heal that back. New Magic Mike is now Magic Drew. All right. And then, of course, we got your main event, which, of course, was Seth Rollins and Rey Mysterio, or Rey, Dom. Seth and Dom. It was a good match. Again, I didn't think for a minute that Seth would lose the title to Dom. I really didn't think that that Priest would cash in that Money in the Bank so soon either. We've seen it done, but I really didn't think he would cash that in that soon. And what we got was a run-in from Finn Balor. So Finn Balor, of course, comes running in. They did say he wasn't in the building. Well, he was. At least, maybe he wasn't when they said he was, but he showed up, came in, and kind of got in the way, beat up Seth. The referee had to throw the match out. There would be no cash in, and they looked like they were going to a little bit. Dom, it does. Dom. But of course, that's going to lead to friction, which probably will in turn lead to Finn being ousted from Judgment Day and maybe a face turn by him, and then maybe he will get into a program with Damian Priest, which again, this is something they do a lot when they don't necessarily want the title to change hands right away. They want Damian Priest to hold on to that belt for a while, or that Money in the Bank briefcase for a while, which he might do. And they do this a lot, where they'll then have him get his attention taken by something else. So we're more than likely going to build up to a Finn versus Damian Priest match, which will also be probably at SummerSlam. That should be very interesting too. Do you want a match out there where you think you might hear a little bit about Bray? That could be it. Because a lot of people are also saying something like that, where it could be a repeat or a rerun of Bray versus Finn Balor at some point in time. So I want to hear a little bit about that. That would be the match that you may want to watch for with Finn and Damian Priest. Although I don't think it'll happen because of the Judgment Day stuff. It would, kind of be a little bit weird. But anyway. So that's really it. That was Raw last night. It was a good show. Follow-ups a lot of the time to pay-per-views are tough, right? Except for the one at Mania, they build that one up a lot. But follow-ups of pay-per-views, especially pay-per-views that are overseas, as I said earlier, can be a little difficult because you're not going to get a full roster. You're not going to get that whole complement of people there just because of the fact that they were traveling. They had matches there. They might be a little bit beat up and stuff like that from the match, the flight, everything else, that they sometimes will probably just give them the day off. And that happened with a lot of people that were at the event. So we got some different people wrestling, which is good. It's always good to see those new faces and different people out there, especially the women, as I said earlier. So anyway, I would give a total score of Raw of I'd say a B plus. I'd say a B plus. It was a good show. A's are tough. It's if I'm going to grade it a 10, I would probably say it was an 8.5 out of 10. So it was a good Raw. It was a good Raw. We got storylines. We got Brock returning. That's always fun. We got things happening and everything like that. So more people's eyes are probably going to be on SmackDown simply for the follow-up to the stuff with Roman, which they really talked about on that show last night a lot. They they covered that a good amount. So more eyes will probably be on SmackDown. There will, SmackDown will be the show that won't suffer as much from the pay-per-view overlap because it's further out, and they'll have to have time to have rested and stuff like that. You'll get the full complement of people that should be there. So yeah. Let me know what you guys thought of Raw in the chat, and I'm probably gonna get out of here. I only wanted to come on, do my little ramblings thing. I was telling Jeff I'm gonna spend maybe an hour, if that. So that's So let me know what you guys thought of Raw. Again, I'm going to try to do these after every show. Won't be live like this, more than likely, unless it's a big show or something like that. But most of the time we do the pay-per-view. So if it's something big happens at a pay-per-view, we will be doing SummerSlam on our channel, thankfully, because it's not overseas. Not bad thing that it's overseas. London was tremendous. The crowd was absolutely incredible, as Jeff said on his video. Tremendous. They do deserve a pay-per-view, no doubt in my mind. I don't know how long it'll be for a Mania because I know the next two are already decided, but they definitely do deserve a pay-per-view. That crowd is incredible. So it's always so much more fun when you watch a wrestling show and the crowd is just in it from open to close. It's a lot of time to be involved and a lot of time to be loud, and they were in it from start to finish. So kudos to them. I see wrestling was there, right? Yeah. That must have been a hell of a place to have been at a live show. So they definitely do deserve it. So let's see. I feel like SmackDown's going to be must-see TV on Friday. They messed up the bloodline when Sammy was hot and the story had long potential. Now they're screwing up Judgment Day, keeping up Judgment Day together. They'll still keep them together. It'll still be Priest and Dom and Rhea, and who knows, maybe they'll get another member. They'll add somebody else in there at some point, Matt. They're not going anywhere. They're very, very popular. Damian Priest is pretty popular now too. He's over. So they're not going to go anywhere with that. That's going to be fine where it is. Even if Finn decides to leave and become a face, whatever, it's fine. Have a good rest of the day. Give Raw an 8.75. Matt says Raw 7.1. SmackDown is going to be in MSG. Ooh, nice. Very cool, EJ. All right. So, that's going to do it for me. Again, please make sure to like the video, like all our videos. Listen, when these videos are coming out, right? If you get a chance to view them, we hope you do. Obviously, they're going to be little short videos that we're getting out there. Jeff's was around 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Jody's are usually around 10, 15, whatever, in and around that time. Those will still be coming out. So please, very important. Whenever you do watch them, whether you watch them when they premiere, that's awesome. Whether you watch them later, it's very, very important for us that you do like them. So please make sure you drop a like on all of the videos, regardless of whether they're live, whether they're not. We're really doing, everybody's doing a great job. Jody's doing a great job. Jeff is going to start doing some things. We're really doing things to try to get more content out there for you guys, which is what we want to accomplish with this. So thanks to all for joining me. Really, really appreciated that. I'm glad you had fun, Deanna. I appreciate y'all stopping in. I know this is a weird day. It's a holiday for a lot of people. Thank you all for taking your little bit of time out of your day to spend some of that with me and my ramblings on Raw. I will be back on Friday. Now, Fridays will just be a video, but I will have one out Friday, more than likely right after, if I could do that. Because we won't have fireworks to deal with, I hope, by then. So I should be able to record it after that. So I will do one for SmackDown. I'll do a SmackDown Ramblings as well. So watch for that. And obviously watch for Jody's content. She's trying to do videos almost daily. Jeff, I told you, is going to have a video coming out about subject that he's going to cover. It's going to be really, really good. So check that out too. Hey, Derek, how are you? Happy New Year, or happy New Year. I wish it was New Year. Happy 4th of July. So yes. So that is it for me. Again, please make sure you like, subscribe to our channel, share the videos as well. Hit the notification bell to be notified about when we have future content, which Jody just said she's working on one now. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Myself, I will see you guys on Thursday for Impact at 7:45 p.m. Eastern time. Of course, myself and Jeff will be there for that. Don't miss it. Getting closer and closer to Slammiversary. And then we'll see what's going on for the rest of the weekend. I'm not sure whether or not we'll have, because I think, because we canceled Sundays That was generally because of my dog and the noise and stuff like that. I just couldn't do it because I had too much noise in the background. Yeah, I think Jeff does have his kids this coming Sunday. So if that's the case, maybe we'll try to get some stuff out for you on Sunday. I know Jody will, and maybe I'll see what's going on, and maybe I'll try to do something on Sunday as well if I have some time. All righty, guys. I wish you the very best of your rest of your 4th of July if you are celebrating, whether you're having a cookout, whether you're doing some fireworks later, whatever the case might be. Please, more than usual, I always say this, but please stay safe. Please be kind to one another, and hopefully we will see you all for our next one. And thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Take care.